Hi everyone. I'm Achi, and I'm last sessions on today. So at first, I want to say thank you to Jack and Mia and the translators. So this is a very honor opportunity for me. And okay, so I yeah. I'd like to share with you about DX of error messages. DX mean is developer experiences, and error message is very very tiny themes on I think, but I believe error message is very important method make a relationship with developers. So, and it's okay. So, yeah, I'm organizer of DevRelCon Tokyo, and I'm also organizer of DevRel Meetup. It's a community of developer relations, and most attendee is evangelist in APAC. So I think there are so many programmers in these rooms, and most developers loves programming, right? But currently, we have to use a lot of type of tools like web APIs, libraries. We can choose several programming languages: Ruby, Node.js, JavaScript, Go, Python, Java, and so on. And we have to use the frameworks and the SDKs. So if you made a smartphone apps, you have to choose several SDKs and frameworks, and sometimes they make bad things, and you got the errors. So, oh yeah, we make errors. So please imagine one day you make programming, and sure, you did it, and you run it, make errors, right? But it's normal, you know. So you fix your code and run again, error again. So a little annoying, but it's okay. So you fix again, and maybe you find out your mistake or framework bugs or something, and you will fix about it. But error again, you know. So maybe you your frustration is peak, so you want to quit the job and you shut the mouse and you through your computer and you go to the summer island and take the beers. I don't know whether what to say. It's a Chinese sipu uasan, right? Yeah. So and almost same Japanese proverb said Buddha accept 3 times mistake, but he doesn't accept false errors, right? So and yeah, why we got the errors several times? Because we can't understand error message means. So error message should display suitable message. What is wrong, and how to fix about that? So and we want to continue programming without stress. You know, if you got the stress with your programming code, maybe you want to quit your programming, right? So, but maybe you think error is bad and no error is good. You think so? Maybe I think so, but there is not impossible, you know. most API providers provide SDKs their way, but some programmers doesn't know about that. Maybe they use SDKs on their way, so it's like a little hacking or like cheating or something. So error is happen every time, and maybe SDK providers display a suitable error message for their developers, but the most programmer doesn't know about that, doesn't care about that. They fix their mistakes on their way, and error again. So we should know about that. What do they? 好烟香, right? Right? 好烟香. It's a utopia. So we have to know about the. There is no error world, right? But we can make a good world for programmers with good error message, I think. So, and we have to know about that. If you make open source softwares and you make frameworks, library, or something, you have to know about the. You don't know everything about your developers. Developers use your SDK or frameworks on their way. So, and the developer loves hacking, so they use your softwares on their way, so they fix their code their ways, not right away. So maybe you believe your developer is right and your developer is smart, and they will understand your display errors. But they don't believe it. Maybe they fix a little different ways and make error again. So some of my friends said developer relations looks like a romantic relationship, right? Someone said please love our APIs and please love our SDKs, and we want to make great relationship with you. So he said developer relations looks like a romantic relationship. So, and for example, if you find out some of APIs or some of SDKs and you choose it, and maybe you write on a code, and if there is no problem, your loyalty grown up higher and higher, right? But if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, so maybe a few days later you make a trouble, right? Like a got error, and if we can solve this problem in good ways without no stress, maybe your relationship is more strongly, right? And if continuously solve those problems over time, and you and API's relationship become strongly, and it's great. It's become great relationship, right? But upside down, if you and APIs cannot solve these problems, like you think your API is bad, and the API said your code is bad. So it's like a fight with girl and boy, so maybe their relationship will be broken up. So, I believe good error message will make strong relationship, but the cheap error message disappoints each other. So, and I think error is a good opportunity because error is happen every time. So, problem is how to resolve this problem in good ways. So, and this is 유, 호, 팅, nie, ti, ni, right? Sorry, it's very difficult. Yeah, and like it mean after the rainy days, our ground become more strongly, right? So, and I think error message is a communication tool with your developers and API providers. So if we can if we display good error message to our developers, and they can solve their problem without no stress, our relationship become more stronger. So, and this is, I believe, next important things. I think distance is very important part of error message. Left top is you, developers, and left bottom is so far, right? And lint, oh, sorry. Sorry. Lint, like IDE integration is good way to solve this problem. If you this is Atom developed by GitHub, so they have a feature of auto completion, and you can type to some words, and they display to how to use SDKs and how to use function arguments or something. So, and most of IDEs like Xcode, Android Studio or Visual Studio Code or something, they have auto completion features. So, and if we use it, API providers have to use configuration files. So if I install to those files, I can use API or SDKs more easily. So I can find out my mistake before run the code. And the next step is a compiler or runtimes. If we made mistakes and run the code, but we can I can find out my mistakes very quickly, and I can fix it very sooner. And so lint or compiler error is we can provide it offline, but the API or document or search engine is online. So if we, and API error is good for API providers because they can control error messages very easily, but the developers have to execute their code every time, and they can't understand what is wrong because API is like a black box. So some types of validation, like unique email address check or URL check or something, those features have to provide to on the API. But the other type of validation, like number check or strong length check, is I think we should it's offline, like compiler check or link check. And this is a very worst example. It's Instagram photo sharing services, and Chinese looks like Meitu Shoushou, right? And their APIs return every time, oops, error code. Every time. If I do anything about that, if I call their APIs and any type of error happens, every time they return to now, oops, error code. So it's very bad. And looks like that. Also, they maybe they check to any type of parameters, but they threw an error every time same. So I can't understand what is wrong, right? This is very bad example. And if fix Alilo looks like that. So this is one of my clients' SDK's errors. I can understand I forgot necessary parameters, right? But what type of parameters I forgot, I don't understand. This is a bad example too. And a little improved it, and maybe each parameter, check each parameters and separate error message. And this is good, I think, but a little bad, because if I forgot several 2 or 3 parameters, maybe at first I execute my code, I got the error, I forgot the ID, and I fix my code and execute again. Maybe I got the error, no access token. It's annoying, and I fix again, and again I execute again. Maybe I got the errors, no expiration date, right? So we should provide looks like that. So we have to check every validation, every parameters validation just in time, and return to errors just one time. So I can understand I forgot several parameters, and I fix it very easily, and I can call their APIs soon. So, and I think better error message is developers can recognize what should they do to solve it, right? And return every error message on the one time, and that's important. Developers support themselves. You know, if they can't understand what is wrong, maybe they using search engines, or they post to Q&A services, or they have to send an email to official support, right? It's very stressful. So, and I introduced to two good example. One of Square, they provide to payment APIs, and this is their error message, like name of first line items. Sorry, I forgot name of first line items, right? So I can understand what is wrong very quickly, right? And I fix my code, and maybe the code will be successful. And as an example, Google Map. Google Map requires API keys, and if I forgot set the API keys and execute the APIs, I got the errors, looks like that, and they put on error message with link, you know. So I click this link and go to the page of generation API keys. So I can make API keys very quickly, and I set to API keys on my page and reload the page. I can use Google Map. Yeah. Okay. So conclusion. No error world is good, but it's impossible. So we have to make good world for developers with error message. And I think error message is good opportunity to make a relationship with your developers. So we have to provide good and the best error message to your developers. And best error message is indicate next step or resolve way to your developers. So yeah, and one more thing. I hold the DevRelCon Tokyo 2018. Please save the date. So if you have a time, please come into DevRelCon Tokyo, or you can sponsorship. You can become sponsorship of DevRelCon Tokyo. Thank you.